up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Alisha, and over here we create beauty and entrepreneurship related content. And so today, you guys, I want to share with you some tips on effectively marketing your business. So maybe you are a new entrepreneur, maybe you've been an entrepreneur for a while now. Everyone can use some marketing tips, and so based on my experience, I put together some information that I think is going to be super helpful for anyone who is trying to effectively market their business to ultimately drive sales or drive clients and customers to their business. So if you're interested in that, then this video is definitely for you. Today I will be doing this quick little beat. This is just my everyday makeup routine, so I decided to just get ready with you guys and have like a little chit chat. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, y'all, so we're gonna hop right into it because I am super excited to talk about this topic. One, I need to put on a little bit of lip gloss on my lip. This is the Madison Marie Cosmetics lip gloss, and this is in the shade Sweet Pea. And then I'm going to put on my primer, but I'm not gonna really talk too much about the makeup. Just like my last chit chat, get ready with me, it's more about the topic that I want to discuss. So yeah, everything that I use will be linked down in the description box if you are interested. But yeah, let's hop into it. So when we think about marketing, it can be a very big pain point for a lot of business owners. In fact, I've mentored quite a few new business owners, and I've actually gotten questions from tons of people. And I think there was a few questions that came on some of my previous videos about entrepreneurship. But a lot of people want to know more about the marketing piece because sometimes it's a struggle. And it's either a struggle because you just don't know like how to market, but it could also just be you're not marketing to the right people. So when we talk about marketing, the ultimate goal is to get clients, right? Get clients or get customers. I guess it just depends on whatever you're offering. You may be offering a service or you may be offering a product. So either way, you want to sell your services or you want to sell your products. So when we market, that's the ultimate goal. But if we're not marketing correctly, then of course it's not going to translate into sales. So before we even get into like actually how to market, I want to talk about identifying your target audience. I think that comes first because you need to be very specific with who your services are for. All of your marketing content and stuff has to be for a specific group of people, and so that's referred to as your target audience. So based on your product or your service that you're offering, who is your ideal customer? Who is your ideal client? That's like the first question that you need to ask yourself. And I say that with intention because the question shouldn't be about like who needs your service. So a lot of people say, well, this person needs this or this person needs this. That's fine. Lots of people need lash extensions or want them, shall I say, but they might not be my ideal client for whatever reason. We'll get into that in a second. So you want to think about the who. Is it a female? Is it a male? Is it a person that's working? Are they not working? What type of education do they need, if any? How much are they making? What's their age group? Are they single? Are they married? Do they have kids? Like there's tons of questions that you need to ask. And some of these questions may not apply. I mean, for me, I don't really care about your level of education. For me, it's more about I target to women. I target to like the working class. I target to moms. So you can have children or maybe not, but you're definitely a woman for the most part. And I say that very carefully because some men get lash extensions and that's perfectly fine. If they find me, I will 100% do, their service, but men aren't necessarily my target audience. And then I don't really, well, I guess you can say my age group would be anyone over the age of like 25. And it goes all the way up. I don't really have a cap on that, but I think most people are between like 25 and about like 40, but I do have some people that are over that age, but I definitely don't market to anybody that's less than that. And one thing I want to make mention too, because it becomes a very frustrating thing when people feel as though, or business owners feel as though their family and their friends aren't supporting them. I do want it to be known that friends and family shouldn't necessarily be your target audience. Like, I'm not going to say they shouldn't at all, but I just think if it's a friend and a family, you don't have to put too much work or thought into getting them to be customers or clients. Like, they should want to support you regardless if you're putting any type of marketing out there anyway. So I just personally don't believe that friends and family should be. So you definitely want to think about those things I just mentioned, whether they're female, male, single, employed, how much are they making, and things of that nature. Another important question that you want to ask yourself when it comes to your target audience is, what are they doing in the literal sense? Like, what are they doing during the day? Do they work? If they work, like, where are they working? Or that kind of goes in hand with like how much are they making. But you want to know what they're doing because you want to know when you need to market to them. So because my target audience audience is mainly working class, then they're probably working throughout the day. And so I don't tend to send marketing emails or post too much to social media in hopes to, like, you know, drive sales during the day when I feel like they're working. I definitely don't like to send emails during that time because I feel that they may open it and look at it, but may not have time to really look at it, and then it becomes lost in the sauce. So you want to be real intentional with the when you're marketing something or you're putting out some type of content, because you want to make sure that you're catching your folks at the right time. Along with that, you want to know what people are doing because you want to know when they're available. So if you're offering a service like myself, most of you should know by now I'm a licensed esthetician, and I also offer wig services. So I want to make sure that if my clients are at work during the day, I have availability in the evening and on the weekends when they're probably not working, so that they can come to me. Because what you don't want to happen is for there to be a conflict with time. And so people may want to support you, but they can't because there's time constraints where they physically cannot be to you during the time that's most convenient for them. Okay, and now my favorite part is asking yourself, how much money do these people make? Okay, and it sounds like a very nosy question, but in my opinion, it matters a whole lot, especially when you're trying to determine your prices. So we'll have a separate video on determining your prices, but you definitely want to charge what you're worth. And I also am a strong believer that your prices are going to attract a very specific type of person or type of people. So with myself, my services are luxury services, if you will. So my prices are not cheap, but that is because, first of all, I understand my worth and I'm charging what I'm worth based on my expertise and how long I've been doing it and things of that nature. But I also know that my target audience can afford me. So I always use this example. I will never charge $50 for lash extensions because guess what? First of all, I'm worth more than that. But besides that, it's going to attract a $50 lash client. And I'm not trying to be funny, but people that be out here trying to look for the cheap, you know, services and they want to get something for almost nothing, I don't want that type of person. You know what I mean? And then we're going to talk about word of mouth in a minute, but if those people are telling their friends and people that they're associated with or the people that's in their tribe, then they're going to be kind of like the same type of people. So I'm not going to judge. I'm not trying to stereotype or anything like that. I just feel like based on your prices, you're going to attract the people that can afford that, right? So for me, my clients can 100% afford my services, but I set my prices that way for a reason. So that's definitely something to think about. How much do your target audience make so that you can adjust accordingly? So you don't want to go too high. Like I don't want to go above what my clients can afford or what my target audience can afford, but you definitely don't want to go lower than that either. Okay, so now once you've identified your Okay, so now once you've identified your target audience, you want to think about like how. So how are you going to get the information out there to market? Like whatever your marketing content is going to be, which we'll talk about in a second, how are you going to do that? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook group? I've been in these groups and they talk about their target audience might be single moms or something like that. So if it's single moms, let's just say, then there are groups on Facebook or wherever for single moms. You can go and you can post your services and stuff in there. I've also heard of people using flyers. You just got to think about, is that something that your target audience is going to consume? So if you want to create flyers and post them in places. I've also recently heard about people making flyers or even their business cards and putting them in, like when you go to, let's say you go to Target or Walmart and you go into like the towel section and you go just put some there, you know. So wherever you think that your clients are going to be, then that's how you want to market to them. Okay, and then now we want to talk about the what. So what does that content look like? So first and foremost, I want to say one of the things that I really strongly believe is that people will invest in a brand that they feel like they know and that they can trust. And so you want to think about that when you're delivering whatever information it is that you're going to be delivering, because you want to make sure that you can be relatable. So if you think about it, for example, let's say you are on Instagram and you come across a page where it's a business, right? But you don't know who the owner is. You don't know like what they do. You don't know anything about the business. They're just posting still shots of the product. That's not necessarily going to buy everyone in. I'm not going to say that's not an effective way, but you want to make sure that people are kind of getting some behind the scenes, or that they feel like like they're getting close to you. I tell people all the time, my social media is very strategic. I show people what I want to show, and that's what social media is all about. You can show up however you want to show up, and nobody will know, because those people, for the most part, those people don't really know you. They just know how you show up and how you present yourself. So I don't mind sharing things about my business, the background, the history, or even behind the scenes things for people to see, so that they can kind of like trust me. I've had clients come to me and they'll come to me for a service, but then they're like, okay, I want to do more. Like, can I get another service, or can I purchase this? Like, they just want to support me because they have fallen in love, not literally, but they've fallen in love with the idea of me as a business owner, and they just want to support me. And so they wouldn't be able to do that if they didn't know, or if I was a cold person and I didn't show anything about myself, my personality, or some behind the scenes of my business. So in doing that, one of the things you can do is kind of give the why behind your business. It would probably be like your mission statement, or just basically your why. So whatever that looks like. So for me, with my beauty and spa services, my why has always been that I want to make women look and feel beautiful. And then when I started Madison Marie Cosmetics for my daughter, that was twofold. It was one, to really show her that she can be a business owner. Everyone knows, or if you don't know, my daughter has muscular dystrophy, so she's wheelchair bound. So there's a lot of limitations that she has. However, being her own boss and being a go-getter is something that is not a limitation. So she can definitely do whatever it is that she wants to do. And so that was one of the purposes behind me starting that company for her, because she has a lot to say. She is definitely the CEO, and it's something that she looks forward to, and it's something that she's proud of. And also, we donate $1 per item to muscular dystrophy. So that's something that I share. It's not a marketing scheme by any means. It's just a way of letting people know, like, this is the foundation of my business, and we don't mind sharing that. So other things that you can do, especially if you're posting on social media, is showing some behind the scenes footage. I talked about this a little bit before, but it's definitely important because people like that stuff. Like, I don't know if it's a nosy thing. Like, I'm not gonna say people are nosy, but people appreciate seeing the behind the scenes. And I think that it just shows that you don't have nothing to hide. Like, I don't mind showing, and people find it interesting to see me cleaning up or to see me restocking. So you can post information out there, and this is just to make you relatable, or just so that people can understand a little bit more of like what it is that you do, how you run your business, things like that, so that they will want to support. But if you show behind the scenes footage of you cleaning up, or you setting up for some clients, or if you're making a product, behind the scenes of you making that product, or creating an order, or whatever the case might be, or you can just be restocking some supplies, like, people enjoy seeing those types of things. That's just another technique to use so that people can see the personality, and like I said, just to understand some of the way that the business works and how it's ran. So another thing that needs to be done also, and I feel like it's really effective, is identifying a pain point for your target audience. If I'm marketing to, if my target audience is working moms, or just working women who may not have a lot of time. So the pain point would be, you don't have a lot of time to be getting ready in the morning before you go to work. With my services, I'm creating convenience for you. So people will buy into that because they'll be like, oh, I can just wake up cute, and so I've identified that for them. Now, lash extensions has become a need for a lot of people. Not to mention, we just went through this pandemic and we're still kind of going through it, and we're wearing masks, especially a lot of my clients. They're essential workers, they're working in hospitals. I have tons of nurses or clients who are wearing masks on a day-to-day basis. And so I always talk about how if you're wearing a mask, people can only see your eyes and your eyebrows, so the eye area basically. So come get your lashes done, because you're gonna be cute like while you're at work, even though you got a mask on. So that was a pain point for some people. Like, they still want to be cute. Again, the mission for my business is making other women look and feel beautiful. So that is always at the forefront of all of my marketing. I want people to understand that with my services, they will look and they will feel beautiful. Not to mention, self-care is also like a pain point, or even a goal for some people. So I kind of capitalize on that as well, and I let them know that my services are also self-care services. Sometimes when clients come in for lash extensions and they realize, like, oh, you do facials and stuff too. Yeah, I need a facial. Like, well, I've been working this job and I'm working extra overtime or whatever. I just need a moment. And so they will book that service. And so lots of times my lash clients have converted over to being facial clients, and so they'll get facials doing their services as well. And I've had tons of them get up off my table and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I needed this. And it wasn't necessarily the thing that I was doing for them. It was the experience that I was creating for them. So you want to think about that. Figure out what that pain point is for your client and solve that problem. So think about it as is having a problem and a solution. Help people understand what that problem is that they're having, and then create that solution for them. Let them know that them coming to you for whatever product or whatever service that you have to offer is the solution to their problem. So the same thing with wigs. So while I say my wigs are convenient and they're easy, another problem that I have identified is that I know a lot of women who suffer from some type of hair loss. And so that is very important to me to even make those women look and feel beautiful. So if you're a woman watching this, which most of you probably are, you understand how important your hair is, okay? Our hair is our crown. And so I've identified the fact that some women, they just struggle, and they struggle with the hair loss, but they also struggle with finding someone who they can trust, finding someone who they know they'll take care of them, and finding someone that they can be comfortable with. Like, I've had a lot of clients come, they may have had alopecia or lupus or whatever, and they're almost scared at first to like take their whatever they have on at the moment and just really let me see them in their raw, true form so that I can really assess the situation and make something nice for them. But afterwards, I can't even count how many times people have thanked me or even cried because they never felt as comfortable with someone to be like, this is me. I got this bald patch right here, fix it, and I fix it, and they look and feel beautiful. So that is how I just keep it going. So you find problems, you find pain points, you find challenges that people have, and you solve those challenges for them with your products or with your services. All right, and so I just spoke a little bit about education, but I want to dive a little bit more into that, because another component that you can add to your marketing is the education piece. So when you're showing off your services and different things like that, educate people. Let them know how they can maintain a service. I know some people who, they shy away from wigs because they don't know how to maintain them. So you either let them know how to do it, you create videos, or whatever your marketing is going to look like, you create information to let them know how they can maintain it, or it's information on showing them behind the scenes. Like, for example, with wig maintenance, I'll show behind the scenes of me doing a wig rehab or a wig refresh. And so it's like, oh, I didn't realize I can take my wig back to you and you can wash it and maintain it for me. So it's like, okay, cool, I don't have to worry about it, sign me up, you know. Or again, you're showing people how easy it is to just do it themselves. And I've created tons of videos or information on Instagram showing people how they can do this, because it helps them to digest the idea of making an investment, especially if your services are some type of investment, which mine are. Wigs are not cheap, my lashes aren't cheap, and so forth. So it's about showing them that they can invest in it, and their investment is going to be worth their while and their money. All right, so we talked about the most important thing in marketing, which is identifying your target audience, and we talked about how you can do that, and we talked about the different ways that you can market to that audience. The last thing I want to talk about is word of mouth, and I saved it for the end because it's pretty common. I mean, a lot of people have heard the fact that marketing or word of mouth is like the best type of marketing, right? For one, you don't have to do it for yourself. Your clients and your customers are like walking advertisement for you. They are advertising whether they want to or not. I've had tons of people see, you know, someone's lashes and they're like, oh my God, where'd you get your lashes done? Or where you get that wig made, or like anything. And so you want to make sure, one, that you're doing the best with every single client, because since they are your walking advertisement, then you want to make sure that it's truly a representation of your work. So for me, I always say, you know, bring your wigs back to me so that I can like maintain them and style them and things like that, because once it leaves out of here, I don't know how it's gonna look. And so for that, I think about like, oh my God, how is the wig gonna be looking? You know, are they gonna run it through the mud and be like, yeah, Alisha, she did this? Like, no, don't do that. Or lashes, like, are you properly taking care of your lashes so that when someone sees them, they're not all falling off, or they not all twisted, or they're dirty or whatever, and the people are like, ugh, like instead of, ooh, who did your lashes? It's like, ugh, who did your lashes? Like, let me not go to her. So we don't want that. You want to make sure that your clients are true representation. In order for them to be that, then you need to educate them on how to be able to maintain whatever it is. Let's say you're making t-shirts and they have a cute decal on it, and you tell the client how to properly take care of it. Maybe they need to wash it in cold water, or maybe they need to hang it up to dry. Like, I don't know, whatever it is that they need to do in order to properly maintain that product, you need to let them know, because you don't want someone to be out in the public and they got a t-shirt on but it's dingy. People are like, oh, who made it? Or maybe you even got your logo on there, and so they're looking at the shirt and they're like, that's dingy, or you know, the letters are all falling off or whatever. Like, I don't want to purchase a shirt, you know, from this person. So just be mindful of that. And so that's why it's important to educate and use that as a form of your marketing as well. So one way you can use your clients as your marketing and make sure that the word of mouth is getting out there is by, one, just simply letting them know that it's okay. I've had tons of clients who kind of gatekeep. They didn't want people to know who was doing their lashes or who made their wigs or whatever, because they kind of just wanted to keep that for themselves. And so I've had to explain that to them, like, girl, you blocking my blessing. Like, it's okay to share. Like, I'm never going to get too busy. I'm going to figure it out all the time. But it helps me out. And so it just gave them a different perspective on that sort of thing. And then two, sometimes clients, if you're like home based or you're a small business, or maybe they know you personally, they've been rocking with you for a while, they may think that you don't want just any and everybody as a client, which you don't. But if you're very specific with your target audience and you're identifying those pain points and things like that, if they tell somebody, they're going to look at your social media or whatever that marketing is, and so they'll be compelled to reach out, but they won't know who unless that person is telling them. So just make sure that you're telling your clients, like, hey, I'm okay with you referring people, you know, especially if you know them. If it's a coworker or family, absolutely send them my way. And then two, you can also create like referral programs so that, you know, if you refer such and such people, or if you and a friend come, you know, something nice will happen, you'll get money off or whatever the case may be. And then you can also encourage your clients to repost on their social media. Maybe you can give them $5 off or something like that for them posting. But word of mouth is so profound, and for me, it's probably more efficient than any other thing, simply because, one, I'm not doing the work, so sometimes I can get lazy, I'm not gonna lie, and not really promote as much as I should, or just market, you know, on social media or whatever. But it's nice because you will not believe how many people I have that are connected to another client. For example, I have moms and daughters that come to me. I have aunts and nieces that come to me. I have friend groups that come to me. It was one girl and she got her lashes done, and then her friend, and then her friend, and the whole crew, they come and get their lashes done or whatever. So word of mouth is so important. So make sure your clients know that it is okay. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come to you to get whatever service or whatever product you have to offer, because it is okay. So, all right, you guys, that is it. That's all I really have to say about the marketing piece. I didn't want to give you guys too much. I just wanted to pinpoint some of the most important components to marketing and identifying your target audience, just because I do see that that has been a pain point for a lot of people, and now more than ever, people are starting their own businesses, which is great. They're investing in themselves, which is great. And so I want to play my part in giving back and giving the tools and the resources that you guys need. So like I always say, definitely leave any questions or comments down below so that I can answer them, or even create another video for it, because I want to keep this going. I love sharing. I've been an entrepreneur for, I don't even know how many years at this point. I mean, since I was like 12 years old in some fashion, right? So I've learned so much over the years, and like I always like to tell people, these are just from my own experiences, and so I feel like experience is the best teacher. Someone can go to school for certain things, but once you have that experience, you know, like you're in it, you're in the thick of it, and so you learn from that. And so I want to also share the things that I've learned as a business owner. So I hope this helped you guys. If it did, please give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.